In this video, we're going to demonstrate how we can use key events in Java to start interacting with our keyboard in a window. So I'm going to go ahead and I've already got Eclipse open here. I'm going to create a new project. So I'm just going to right click on my left area in the Package Explorer and select New Java Project. And we'll just call this Key Demo. I'm going to hit Finish. And in Key Demo, I'm going to create a package. You know, we want to put things in a package. So I'm going to create a new package. I'm going to call this com.timothyrjames.keydemo. And within that package, I'm going to create a new class. We'll just call it main, and we'll put a main method into it. So public static void main. And now we have at least an application. So what do we want to do here? Well, we need to do a few things if we're going to create a window that we're going to interact with keys. Just to show off how we might actually create a key listener, I'm going to go ahead and create a window, jframe, frame is equal to new jframe. I'm just going to hit Control Space so I can automatically import that. And in that frame, I'm going to create a new JPanel. JPanel panel is equal to new JPanel. We'll give that a flow layout. New flow layout. Hit Control Space to get the completion. And I'm going to put a JText field there. JText field. Field is equal to new JText field. And I'm going to make this 20 characters long, and that'll just make its size show up as 20 characters. If you don't pass in this integer 20, it's just going to show up as just a really short text field. So we're going to put 20 in for that. Now I'm going to add my field to my panel, panel.add field, and then frame.get default or get content pane dot add panel. And we don't need any constraints. We'll just delete that. Now I'm going to set my default close operation, and we will also set our size. Frame set size, say 500, and then frame set visible true. So this will give me a very simple system. We'll save our file, very simple window with just a text field in it. You can see that. And we can type in that, and the text field handles characters automatically. But let's go ahead and actually we'll take and handle those events. So let's create a new class. We'll call this new class, and we'll call this key demo key listener. And we'll have this implement the key listener interface. Now I'm going to hit finish. It's going to overwrite all of my methods, and we get three different events, three different methods in this interface. We get the key typed, which is when I push a key and release it. We get key pressed, which is when I push a key down, and I get key released. And if I just want to do something really simple here, I can do system.out.println key typed, just so you can see the ordering of these things. Get key character, system.out.println key pressed, get key character, and key released, system.out.println key released, get key character. And you'll see all three of these fired every time I type a key. So in my main method, I'll go ahead and just add that key listener. So field add key listener, new key demo key listener. And I'll save that. I'll run my code. And you'll see, once we get our UI, I'll make this a little bit smaller so you can see the console there. If I type an A character, or an F character, don't know where my fingers are aiming here, you'll see we get a key pressed, a key typed, and a key released. And if I type a D character, I'm going to get that same order, pressed, typed, and released. So if I just press down F and hold it, you'll see nothing is actually being fired. And if I let it go, I get that key released. And if I hold down Shift, you'll see I get that weird character. And I hold down F, I'm getting key pressed, key typed. If I let go of F, I get that key released, and then I get that key release for the Shift key. So it's pretty simple to handle these key events. Now, key characters will work, but we also need to worry about key codes, because not all of the keys we might type on our keyboard have a key character. So let's go ahead. We're going to kind of remove some of our code because we're going to create a new JPanel here, and we'll create a new JPanel, new JPanel. We'll create new class. We're going to call this key demo panel, and I'm going to have that extend the JPanel class. And my key demo panel is basically going to keep track of just two things. I'm going to have two squares. What I'm going to do with my key demo panel is I'm going to draw one square at one part of the screen. I'm going to draw another square at another part of the screen, and I'm going to allow my keys to move those around. So this will allow me to basically create like a little simple interactive window where I can have one square try to land on the other square. So we're going to create just two rectangles. Rectangle is a class that's built into Java. So private rectangle. You can see java.awt.rectangle. We'll call this target is equal to new rectangle. And we'll go ahead and put this at the top right corner of our screen. So our screen is 500 by 500. We'll put the X at about 420. We'll put the Y at about 40. We'll make our width and height. We'll say this rectangle will be 60 by 30. And we'll create another rectangle, private rectangle mover. This is just the rectangle we're going to move around. We'll create a new rectangle. We'll make this one smaller, and we'll make it at the bottom of the screen. So we'll say our X coordinate will be, say, about 200. Our Y coordinate, we'll make that about 450, and we'll make this a 15 pixel by 15 pixel rectangle. Now, we want to be able to paint both of our rectangles, so we'll override the paint method. So we'll just hit Control Space to get that suggestion, then we'll select that. And what we're going to do here is we're going to paint our, well, we'll start off, we'll paint just each rectangle, and we'll see kind of what the problem might be with that. So I'm going to set my color. We'll say g.setColor. We'll make our target rectangle blue, color blue, and then we'll draw our rectangle, g.draw rectangle. You know, we'll fill it in. We'll say g.fill rectangle, and we'll pass in target.x, target.y, target.width, target.height. It looks like we forgot to import color, so I'm just going to right click on that. I'm going to go down to source. I'm going to select add import, and that will import color for me. Now I'm going to set color to orange, and then we'll use fill rect target.x, or I'm sorry, mover.x, mover.y, mover.width, and mover.height. And now we will paint our two rectangles on the screen, and this will give us the ability to just see where they are. So let's go ahead and we'll just test this to make sure that it's doing what we want it to do. So instead of using a JFrame or JPanel here, we are going to use our key demo panel. And we don't need the text field anymore, so we can remove that, and we can remove this line, and we can remove this line, and we'll just go ahead and add our panel. So I'll hit run, and we get our target rectangle on the top right. We have our little mover down at the bottom. Now if we want to actually move this around, we need to do something in our key demo panel. So what we're going to do in our key demo panel, or I'm sorry, not in our key demo panel, in our key demo key listener, what we're going to do here is just maintain a reference to our key demo panel, private key demo panel, and we'll create a constructor, public key demo key listener is going to accept that. We'll just set it here. And then whenever we don't want to worry about key typed events, we don't want to worry about key released events, we're going to only worry about key pressed events because we only want to do something when the key was pressed. So what are we going to do? Well, we're keeping a reference to key demo panel, and we want to encapsulate everything in key demo panel. So we're going to provide some functionality here. We're going to provide a public void move left, which is going to set mover.x. We'll say we'll move it by 5 each move. Public void move right, mover.x plus equals 5. So we'll increase that by 5 every move right. We'll say public void move up, mover.y minus equals 5, and public void move down, mover.y plus equals 5. So this will allow us to move, and we'll want to repaint. So we want to make sure that we repaint this, but let's go ahead and we'll just make sure that we can actually move, we can actually get these events. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the key code. So we're going to say if e.get key code, and we don't have to memorize what up, down, left, and right are. We're just going to use key event.vk left, and if our key code is left, we're going to move our panel move left. If e.get key code equals key event.vk right, panel move right. If e.get key code equals key event vk down, we'll move down. Let's go ahead and fix that typo there. Panel move down. And if e.get key code equals key event.vk up, we'll move up. Now if we go into our main method, we're going to have, well, we haven't actually added our key listener to our panel yet, so we'll do that. Panel add key listener, new key demo key listener panel. Now we're adding that key listener and we're passing that in. So when I run this, I'm actually not going to get the methods that I'm not going to get the events that I want. First of all, I'm not actually doing anything to report that. Second of all, I'm not repainting. So who knows what's going to actually happen. There is a reason why we're not getting any events here, and that's because a panel by default can't accept key events. It has to be focusable. So we can do that pretty easily. Set focusable true. But we're also not repainting after we move our panel. So we want to call repaint every time we move. This repaint. So we can just copy and paste that into each one of our move up, move down, and move right methods. And now we'll try running again. And when I move, notice I get that left, I get that nice kind of movement there. I'm moving to the right, I'm hitting my up key, I'm hitting my down key, I'm hitting my left key, and everything is nice and just moving properly. So this is allowing me to move around the key panel, the key demo panel, and I can now kind of interact with this a bit, but I want to actually know when I've achieved my goal. So let's say when we achieve our goal, when we move our panel into that blue panel, we want to make sure that we let's say we change the color. So let's create another variable here. We'll say private color target color, and we'll just set that equal to color.blue. And instead of setting the color here to blue, we'll set it to target color. Now every time we move left, right, up, or down, let's check an intersection here. So we'll create a new method, private void check intersection. And we don't have to do all of the calculations. There is a calculation where you can try to figure out, using some math to, look at the x-coordinate of each one of these rectangles and look at the width and length of each one of these rectangles, but we don't have to do all of that. All we have to do is if target intersects mover, or the other way around, if mover intersects target, we just want to set our target color. We'll set it to, if somebody gets there, we'll set it to black. Target color is equal to color.black. And if we don't intersect, we'll set target color back to blue. So now, in addition to calling repaint, we just call check intersection. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it into each one of our methods. Now, if I run this, and we move our square slowly up to the top, just moving, 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 moving. When we intersect, you'll notice that turns black. When we leave, it turns blue again. But whenever we intersect, that changes to black. So this should give you a rough idea of how to handle key events, should allow you to draw a few pictures on the screen, and should give you a good idea of how you can handle intersections in your code. So this will allow us to kind of start creating interactive programs where maybe the objects on our screen are aware of each other. Thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to practice your coding.